Angela Merkel is furious over leaks from Theresa May and Jean-Claude Juncker's private Brexit talks. The German Chancellor slammed the reported leaks from a dinner last week published in a German newspaper, claiming the PM begged for help on a deal. The Times reports Mrs. Merkel expressed anger at the article, which said the meeting saw an anxious, despondent and discouraged Mrs. May. A Berlin source told the newspaper Angela Merkel is furious at these reports. It is known that she has lost patience with the British Conservatives, but the last thing she wants is for Theresa May to be replaced in the middle of the Brexit negotiations. Today the PM insisted she has an ambitious vision for Brexit as she tried to shrug off claims that she begged EU bosses for a deal. The PM spoke to MPs for the first time since she met European leaders at a summit in Brussels. Mrs. May told the Commons she was confident of striking a good deal on Brexit, saying, "I am ambitious about Britain's future and these negotiations. I believe that by approaching these negotiations in a constructive way, in a spirit of friendship and cooperation, we can and will deliver the best possible outcome that works for all our people. Of course, we are preparing for every eventuality to ensure we leave in a smooth and orderly way. But I am confident that we will be able to negotiate a new, deep and special partnership between a sovereign United Kingdom and our friends in the European Union. AFP, that is my mission, that is this government's mission." She added, "We haven't reached a final agreement, but it's going to happen." The PM said trade talks with the EU would start in December after warm words from other European leaders. Her statement to MPs was overshadowed by a leaked report that Jean-Claude Juncker insulted her appearance and accused her of being anxious after they had dinner last week. The account in the German media claimed Mr. Juncker said the PM looked exhausted with deep rings under her eyes. But he told the BBC this afternoon, "I am really surprised, if not shocked, about what has been written in the German press. Nothing is true in all of this. I had an excellent working dinner with Theresa May. She was in good shape, she was not tired, she was fighting as is her duty, so everything for me was okay." Asked if Mrs. May begged him for progress, he replied, "No, that's not the style of British Prime Ministers." Margaritis Schinas, chief spokesman for Mr. Juncker, shot down the reports as he addressed reporters in Brussels. He said, "Normally we do not comment on leaks, but today I will. Some people like to point at us to serve their own political agendas, their own political priorities, or even to undermine our negotiating position. We would appreciate if these people would leave us alone. We have lots of work and no time for gossip." I have to be very clear that President Juncker would never have used the words attributed to him and never would have said anything like this. We have never been punitive on Brexit. We have said, at all levels, on many occasions, that we are working for a fair deal. Mrs. May's spokesman said today that he had no comment on it whatsoever when asked about what happened at the dinner. He added, "One of the people who was present has denied this morning that it was the European Commission president has said it. I would point you to what is on the record, which is a joint statement by the European Commission and by Downing Street, which said that the talks were constructive and friendly." The PM had dinner with Mr. Juncker and chief Brexit negotiator Michel Barnier last Monday. The meeting was supposed to be strictly private, but just a few days later, a detailed account appeared in a German newspaper. Mr. Juncker told his staff that Mrs. May begged for help from him and Mr. Barnier, the Frankfurter Allgemeine Zeitung reported. Getty, the paper said she told him what a risk she had entered into by abandoning the hard Brexit option and asked for a 2-year transition. She indicated that back home friend and foe were at her back plotting to bring her down. May said she had no room left to maneuver. The Europeans have to create it for her. Mr. Juncker apparently described the PM as anxious, despondent and disheartened, adding that she is a woman who trusts hardly anyone but is also not ready for a clear out to free herself. He added she has deep rings under her eyes. She looks like someone who can't sleep a wink. The Eurocrat reportedly said that Mrs. May no longer laughs, offering forced smiles for the camera. The dinner, which took observers by surprise when it was announced with 24 hours notice, was described by Mr. Juncker as no charm offensive but rather a cry for help. After the leak emerged, the PM's ex-chief of staff Nick Timothy accused Mr. Juncker's top aide Martin Selmayr of being responsible. He said after constructive council meeting, "Selmayr does this. Remind